Now, there are many laws and rules in place that do make sense, like calls for violence are not acceptable, especially if it's against a vulnerable type of person. A state that takes care of its citizens would recognize this and apply a response accordingly. It's also a hefty fine for dumping oil down a sewage drain for many good reasons. For any billionaire, though, human rights violations and fines are just the cost of doing business.
And promised to use it as a non-hazardous landfill. But instead, they dumped PFOA byproduct straight into the land's creek, which led into the Ohio River. He started a class action suit against DuPont, representing around 80,000 people in the Ohio Mid-Valley area. In 2005, the EPA settled with DuPont for $16.5 million for withholding information, which is something like 0.1% of its revenue. At the same time, this was the largest fine in the agency's history.
Now that we are aware of how much we have in common, we can ignore and look past all the fake fear-mongering promoted by media and leaders in regards to immigrants, queers, atheists, Jews, blacks, Palestinians, religious people, as in, it doesn't fucking matter what you believe in as much as the why, and if it influences your viewpoints on governing policy. Alright, so now that we put that aside, I think maybe we could say enforcing some of our monopoly laws, break up the 10 companies that control almost all our food, and the 6 companies that control the majority of our media. I mean, are we all okay with that? As I opened this video up, I imagine the poorest illegal immigrant, poorest white, black, to the average middle-class person, and even some of the lucky millionaires falls in line with nearly all of that. Maintaining the present and seeking a better future. Everything else is just superficial nonsense, like, oh, ho, ho, I hope this new video game isn't a flaming pile of buffalo diarrhea. When it comes to ants like us, the owners will always have the same kind of fear. All throughout history there are examples. Indentured servants and slaves uniting and fighting back against their oppressors. Blacks and whites joining together in meetings when it was illegal to fight for better working conditions. And so on. Instead of getting angry over some song lyrics regarding fudge rounds or letting yourself believe in conspiracies that have no evidence outside of a biased source with a conflict of interest too lengthy to list off here, maybe keep in mind that at the end of the day, the working class have a lot more in common and there isn't a billionaire who would piss on you if you were on fire.